In the late 1930s, the New York Central had 10 of its J3A Hudsons to be streamlined to take the famous 20th Century Limited. The streamlining would be done by Henry Dreyfuss, leading them to acquire the name of the Dreyfuss Hudsons. As stated earlier, the purpose of these newly streamlined Dreyfuss Hudsons were to take the famous 20th Century Limited, a fast passenger express train going 711 miles from New York to Chicago. But between the 1953 and 56, these locomotives would be sold off or scrapped as the train would be pulled by newer EMD diesels. Even though they only had a 20-year service life, the Dreyfuss Hudsons have been and still are an iconic symbol for the New York Central. Being released in the late 70s, Riverossi's 464 Dreyfuss Hudson still surprises me with the amount of detail it has. From the amazing details of the connecting rods, to the detail in the inside of the tender, I'm still getting constantly surprised on how well this locomotive was built, manufactured, and detailed. On first glance from any modeler, our 464 here really looks the part. Here are some details that I truly like. This New York Central plate in the front, even though it's not separately added, it's still a nice touch. Going alongside, we have separately applied handrails. This is consistent throughout the entire model. Going back east and a bit down south, we have come to the drive wheels. The connecting rods are magnificent. They are perfectly detailed and look like they came off of a real steam locomotive. And I realize these are two different locomotives, if you will. But take a look at the eccentric rod as well as the piston rod and main rod on my 2AO consolidation. Then look at the Hudson. Moving back northeast, we can see the curved firebox as well as some more separately applied handrails. Now we're at the cab. On the left side of the locomotive, 5446, which is the locomotive's road number, appears to be extremely faded, but that's normal because of how old this thing is. Moving back east again, the tender has quite a few surprises that I wasn't ready for. These include two separately applied handrails per side. These wheels don't look like they can go on any corners because they're covered, but actually, they can, and they can also do it at speed. Ahem. Moving to the rear of the tender, we can see that there's actually details on the inside there. I have a feeling there's a corridor, but I'm not too knowledgeable of the 464 Dreyfuss Hudsons. On my model, it also appears someone has tried to replace the couplers, as I have seen every image. This used to be a horn hook, but it is now a knuckle. It appears they tried to do that using a small nut. And it works! Everything's about the same on the other side, except the road number is 10 times brighter on this side than it is on the left. Moving up north to the top, we can see there is a funnel, dome, safety valve, and whistle. Fairly simple, but fairly effective. Moving to the top, it's the average roof design used by model companies alike. Fairly similar to this, or this. Even on the tender, there's tons of coal, if you will, on top, as well as a water cap. Now focusing on Skylight Junction's model, which from the video I saw he got new, this also appeared to be cracked open, so I'm not too worried about how it is. Sorry. Moving the model out of the way for a bit, we can see that there's more detailing on the inside of the tender. There are steps to lead up. When you get to the footplate, you have a giant door that leads to the coal load, but some coal that isn't painted. Now you can see one of the problems I have with my locomotive. It doesn't have a drawbar, meaning it doesn't run, meaning I can't really complete this video, but I'll still upload it because, well, you can't stop me. Now that we've seen the regular pros of this locomotive, let's go look into some cons. Get out of here, Alex. The holders where the handrails are very flimsy and they like to pop out a lot. This whole front here comes off fairly easily. I realize it's all one piece, but it's kind of a nuisance. Another con would be that the entire motor is in the cab. I don't know what the inside of this looks like, but it's kind of dumb not being able to put a figure in there. And for one of my final cons, my tender actually comes off fairly easily, and while we look inside of it, I know there's just a hole, which is what this connects to, but that's kind of an annoyance to see. Well, at least Riverossi was nice enough to add a coupling lever there. And with that, that concludes my poorly edited and probably very short video of my Dreyfus Hudson. I really wish I could continue this by showing you how it runs, but then again, like I said, I don't have a drawbar. I'm planning on milling a drawbar with my grandfather so I can produce electricity and make it run, and once I do that, I will immediately upload a video on what I did, how I did it, and what it looks like running. But without that, that marks the end of the video. I thank you all for watching, and I see you all next time. Bye. And before you ask any stupid questions in the comments, I got this secondhand for free.